Alright, how's it going? I'm that ginger photographer. So for this photo, this first dish, this is Pigeon Breast. If anybody hasn't tried it, I tried it. This is the first time I ever tried it and it was delicious. Let me know if you've tried it. But back to the photo, they just wanted some pictures that was like a lifestyle shoot, somebody actually enjoying the meal. So Ellie was cutting into the pigeon breast. I had a continuous light set up really close. It was a little bit higher than the actual plate. Because it was so close, you can see here, the shadows are nice and soft. If that had been further away, those would have been really harsh shadows. So it was a continuous light. It was the modeling lamp on my actual Elinchroms. So I didn't use the flash for this photo. I just used the modeling lamp and it was that continuous light and I could see what I was doing. Because this venue's underground, it was quite a dark. Everything was lit by candlelight. So I had that modeling light coming down and there was some very high windows up in this kind of corner, but they didn't really have much impact on the photo. So this picture was taken at about f2.8 or thereabouts. And I just kind of focused on where she was cutting. So everything else, as you can see here, it already starts to fall off. You're losing focus as soon as it gets to about here. Same with the rest of the dish there. You're losing focus from there onwards, all out of focus. So all the focus is just on the dish getting cut. And if there's one piece of advice that I can give you from this shoot or from this technique, it is to get people involved in your shoots. If you have to grab a member of staff and just ask them to cut up the dish, do it, because it just adds another element to your photos. It shows that interaction with the photos and it just makes people stop and actually look rather than just having a plate on its own nicely lit. Here you've got somebody actually cutting the dish up and the eye's more drawn to that. So next photo, this was for a cocktail menu. So for this picture, I just used one flash. It was here. I just used a wireless trigger. It was just set to the left of the cocktail. I got nice and low for this photo and tried to include a lot of empty space around it. I also shot this photo at f7.1 because I only wanted the light that was coming off my flash to show hitting the cocktail. I didn't want anything else lit up in this picture. I just wanted the cocktail lit up. I wanted that to be the center focus. So all this back wall was all lit by really bright sunlight, but because I had such a high f-stop, no other light was getting into the photo. I also added all these other elements in the picture. These were some of the cocktail maker had brought with him, so I just scattered them on the table. He brought this with him as well, so we used this, and I found this crate. It was full of menus, so I just emptied the menus out and used that as a bit of background as well. Really just to draw the eye in. Everything else is dark around the cocktail, so nothing else is taking your focus away. You're just immediately drawn into this cocktail when you look at this picture because it's the only thing that's lit up. I also then used a gradient in Lightroom, so I used the radial gradient and I just darkened everything else ever so slightly just so that your focus was still on this cocktail. I used the brush tool and I darkened this a little bit because it was quite overexposed, so I brought that down as well a little bit. So next photo, this is of Liam from Salt Steel Brewery. This picture was for a magazine feature that he had. Basically, Liam needed some photos of him and his beer for this magazine feature, and all I had set up for this photo was a nice big soft box here, which was shining on him quite closely. If I zoom in slightly, you can see this is the window light here that's shining on his back. So that's separating him from the background just by doing that. So you've got this nice big soft box hitting this side of his face, as you can see. You've got this window light here that's lighting up the back of his t-shirt and just separating him from the background. And then I had another soft box about here over my shoulder, which as you can see is just adding these nice highlights on the side of his face here. The main reason for shooting it about f3.5 was I wanted to get these cool Edison bulbs in. So I powered my flashes right down so that they were shining nicely on Liam, and also these Edison bulbs were showing. If I'd have had the flash much brighter, then I'd have had to turn the f-stop right up to about f7.1 and those would have just been black. You wouldn't have even seen those. Post-processing, I messed about with the hue, the luminance, turned the shadows blue a bit, as you can see here, and then I just warmed up Liam. Everything's slightly orange, as you can see here. And it's all about those nice colours that complement each other, red and blue. So that's something else to look into when you're editing in Lightroom. Just mess about with your colours, see what works well. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you took something away from it. I'm going to be doing some more videos as well like this. And I've also got some more behind the scenes footage from food and drink shoots that I've actually been on location, had a little camera set up. So if you're into that kind of stuff, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed this video, if you took something away from it, hit that like. It helps this video get found. And I'll see you in the next one. I love you. Bye.